So seeing Harry in recovery each time for the 5 times is just a huge sense of relief that they've got through that. But you know as well, trepidation, that's early days, you've still got the recovery to go through. So you just need to take, I remember taking each kind of minute really as it came and just absorbing it, but just that huge sense of relief is just immense.
It's not a nice thing, is it, to see, but you're sort of in a bubble when you see them for the first time. Oh, I found myself in a bit of a bubble, and I know initially when she was first born that all the machines were around her and that all the beepings and whatnot were going on, but you're too focused on the baby that's in the bed and to sort of really take in a lot that's going on. It's not until you sat back and you've been there for a little while that you can sort of take in what's going on around you, but there's obviously they're being well looked after and they're doing what they're supposed to do.
When Lila came out of surgery, it was really tough seeing her because she was sedated and she had lots of tubes in her. The hospital staff were amazing and they totally warned us that would be the case, and we were aware of that, but it's just so tough seeing your child there. We were just so happy she got through surgery though. We just wanted to see her, and just seeing her there and alive was just amazing.
Yeah, it was catch-22. It was very difficult to see them come out like that, the way they do with all the wires and the tubes and everything. But at the same time, there was joy that she was still going, So it's a funny situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they just I think in terms of family and friends, they just have to listen to you. I think if you say to them, we'll ring you when we know something, it's just, I know that's quite difficult for them. I know my mum really struggled with kind of wanting to know what was happening all the time. But I think you've just got to listen to the parents and say, and if they say, look, we'll ring you as soon as we know anything, just leave it and just wait for that to happen. Because it can be very difficult because you don't know yourself. And, even when we've had the call and we've rushed to intensive care because he's out of surgery, the last thing you kind of really want to be doing is ringing your friends and family, because you don't always know anything at that point. You know that it's gone well and that they're back in intensive care, but you haven't seen them yet. So I think in terms of family and friends, not putting too much pressure on parents, especially again when it comes to visiting. We've always tried to protect our family and friends and not have them come on intensive care, because I think you need to, for their own kind of mental health, that they don't need to see everything too much, because like we said before, it's not just seeing your child, it's seeing all the other children that are on intensive care, and it's not a nice place to be at all. It's really tough. And I think to kind of, drag your mum on there, or, even the child's siblings, I think sometimes it's just better not to do that. Well, it's just listening to the requests of the parent.
It is, yeah, just you can come in when we're ready for you to come in, definitely.
Yeah.
I think you're right about intensive care. Fortunately for Evan, the 3 surgeries he's had, his recovery has been very, very straightforward. So staying in intensive care has only been a day and a half sort of thing. So having that break of our parents not coming in has been okay.
From a family and friends perspective, I think helping during that time when you're in hospital and post-surgery, it's again for us knowing that we had that inner circle was quite important for us, so we knew, and I think the important thing with the social media is that we didn't have mobile phones, so we kind of didn't get bombarded by text messages, and which actually was quite a comfort. I think if we did have mobile phones, you knew that you could just deal with it and you didn't have to worry about all of those messages going on and turning on your phone, and I think just having that time to deal with it.
Do you know what I think? It may be if people brought food. And I know, because you don't remember to eat. I remember eating those weird, packet pasties that you don't eat properly, because
it's just convenience food, that's what you're eating.
Yeah, if there's a shop over the road or the shop in the hospital, you're just like, well, I'll just get that. And you don't really eat anything of any substance, and it's so expensive, everything is. And I know at the time you don't care, we were just like, well, we're hungry, let's get something to eat. But it is a bit of a nightmare, I suppose, if people were like, oh, I've brought you this, because there's always fridges and stuff on, and we stayed in Eckersley House, which was opposite, which is like a charity thing to help, and it's just like a normal home from home really, and if people had have brought us just, you know, like a nice lasagna, you know, yeah, it's just nice to have that. You think, oh, I can definitely have something nice to eat, because then you're just not as tired, and you just feel sick if you're hungry, don't you?
Things that we took along that made it easier, which was a bit of dathing, but actually it was lip balm and hand cream, because when you're in hospital, it is quite, the environment is quite warm and it's quite dry. Also, we were lucky with accommodation that we could cook, so I would sit with Cameron while Alan would go and cook the meal, and then we'd swap so that he was never on his own, that one of us was always there with him. So I think like that, if you can have, or if you've got friends and family that could bring you some meals over, and if you're in a long time as well, you know, it's quite hard and it's quite, yeah, you need that support.
So when I'm in hospital, family and friends help me out a great deal by bringing me food. Because there's obviously not a great deal in the hospital for you to eat and drink, so they sort of bring food and things to pass the time. Colouring books, one of my friends bought me actually, colouring book, with the adult ones obviously. But yeah, that does a lot of it, because it is quite difficult when you're in a hospital, and it's to pass the time while you're just watching a baby recovering. There's not a great deal that you can do, so time passing things are great. Books, colouring books.
What family and friends can do, and for us, big help, is just to be there, and sometimes just to listen and just give you a hug. Because sometimes I just felt, sometimes you just need that release. I mean, we were lucky, and you know, we had family that could help with Lydia, because obviously that was my other thing, that for her it's hard because me and her dad and her brother were away from her for that week, so she's kind of like lost everybody, you know, and she's left with grandma and granddad. But the nice thing was that they were able to bring her over, because that's what you want, and it's important, and I think more so going forward with future surgery, because they are really close.
If family and friends want to help, I think they just need to be there, ask if anybody needs anything bringing in.
Feed the cats.
Feed the cats, yeah. Like my mum came round, and because we'd left so suddenly, like she came and cleaned, my mum and sister came and cleaned up our house, which was lovely, because when we came home from hospital, like 10, 11 days later, it was just nice to come into a clean house and not have to worry about that. You know, little things, might need something sending in the post, or, you know, something that you're missing. It just depends on people's circumstances, how far they are from home, and, you know, and it does happen because...
And I think the message is that it's okay to let people help you, and not just think you've got to do everything yourself as well, you know, because some people can be a bit stubborn like that, but you just got to say, you know, it's okay to accept help from family, and you know, it does help a lot.
Childcare and stuff like that.
I think for the parents who are facing it, I mean, there's nothing that can really prepare you. What I would say is that obviously, you know, to ask questions, and that the hospital and the team that they're under, the liaison nurses, they're there to help. Also, if you know that tiny tickers, they've got useful information sheets, they've got the parent forum. If you know they might not necessarily know anyone who's gone through it before, and I found that really helpful, getting to know other people who've gone through a similar thing.
When we went to the hospital, I basically rushed home and grabbed a load of stuff, and it was mostly clothes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you need clothes. There wasn't a washing machine working in the hospital for us at the time, and we couldn't get a room at the Ronald McDonald House to get access to a washing machine, so we were really like stuck on clothes, and we lived quite far away, so we couldn't just go home, and neither of us wanted to leave her side for that amount of time, so it was like a couple of hours journey there and then a couple of hours back, so we just had to make do. But having your phone, like I say, to be able to look up stuff, and I use the Facebook pages of there's a support group in the hospital, and like you said, you just don't realise anybody else has gone through this, and in a really tough night, I remember just logging onto the Facebook page and posting and thing, and there were so many words of support. It was great and just helped me through it. And we had and with your phone, family and friends are messaging, and just you know, they're there for you, and it's good, and you can just have a chat, or but I can't really think of anything else. Just
the best thing we brought with us was probably the phone charger then.
after the surgery, I mean, Cameron made a really quick recovery. We were able to take him home 6 days later, which was absolutely amazing. It was a bit of a whirlwind. I remember when he was in bed, obviously there was a bit where he couldn't get out of bed and walk, and we'd been taken down to the ward, and they wanted him to go and sit at the table to eat his meal, and I was like, no, because he didn't want to anyway. They made him, and they were right, because he got him up and got him moving, but it was that instinct that he's just been through open heart surgery, and he, got it. If you don't want to do it, he doesn't have to, but yeah, so no, it was what was just amazing was seeing how quickly he recovered and bounced back from it. I just think he's amazing.